The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the October 26th, the wonderful Wednesday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. And let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. The easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We're going to go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 11 o'clock in the morning. I do want you to know I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here. But more important than that, and that's this, during this next 53 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to pick up that phone. Would love to hear from you at 877-927-6648. Now, if you can't call in, we've got you covered there, too. You can always send me an email. That you would send to Steve at TFNN.com. And inside the subject heading, please put radio show question. And if you're in our Tigers Den, well, any and every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on wonderful Wednesday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. Right now, a bit of a mixed bag out there. That mix is coming from the NASDAQ. NASDAQ 100 is off 59 points. The NASDAQ Composite off 50 points, about 0.5% and 0.4. Otherwise, the other U.S. indices in those A to B equal CD legs to the upside, which they should fulfill, especially with that spot volatility index trading below its 50-day exponential moving average. You got the Dow's up 288, the S&P's up 15, the Russell's up 31, semis are up 19, gold's up 15, silver's up 20 cents. Light sweet crude is up 260. 30 Treasury's up 1 point and 17 ticks. He's traded out at 121.19. Lead the charge dollar-wise, the upside. You've got Enphase Energy up 34 bucks, nearly 13%. Neighbors Industries 23 bucks, 23%, 32 bucks. Wingstop. Don't really care much for Wingstop. Doesn't matter. It's up 18 bucks. Shareholders like it, and it's up 24 bucks. Shockwave Medical, 22 bucks, 7.5%. To the downside, it is Chipotle. It's up 46 bucks, 3%. Assurant Inc. down 15 bucks, 10%. Microsoft, 14 bucks, nearly 6%. F5 Inc. off 14 bucks, 9%. Stride Inc. It's taken a bad stride. It's off 26%. That's 12 bucks to the downside. But let's begin our day by taking a look at, let's go take a look at the equity futures contracts out here. Let's get my screens all set up so that we can do that. Oh, I didn't even have that set up. How about that? Okay, so we'll switch over to our white background screens. We're just pulling up this workspace out here. It will populate here momentarily. And what we'll get is our multi-panel charts. Looks like the natural gas contract is up on the screen. That wasn't where I was going to start, but since that's going to pop up on our screen, why don't I just go ahead and touch on natural gas for you? Anyway, it's up 7 pennies right now. We're just waiting for these charts here to populate. Now we'll give you the rundown. Basically, you've got natural gas on a daily time frame chart. You can see what it did was it formed a nice Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom. Now, that was confirmed with that bullish piercing candle a couple trading sessions ago. We had follow through yesterday. This has a new daily profile, bullish in structure. 568 is support and resistance up at 636. What else do we see out here that's worth noting? The 240-minute chart formed a TD9 count top, took price right back to support, both its oscillator and change line, bullish structured profile. So that's a positive. Just looking for anything else, positive or negative. Not really anything else that pops up at me. So natural gas, we're going to just simply term this right now as nothing more than a consolidation with inside its daily profile with a valid bottoming pattern. Now let's take a look at the NQ. Let's start there since that's the weak link in the chain right now. So we'll get these charts up here. You got the NQ. She is trading out at the price of 11,661. Now when these daily charts, the intraday charts do pop up. What did I do? Did I actually type in natural gas again? NQ. Let's try this. 12-22. Nice move there, Steve-O. Smooth like silk. Okay, so what you can see right now that the daily chart has populated. The intraday charts will fill in. You've got today should become bar number 8 of a TD9 count. In order for that to identify a top, what needs to happen is price has got to spike above yesterday's high. It needs to do that today, tomorrow, or on Friday in order to generate that kind of a topping pattern out there. If we look at the 5-hour time frame chart, not much to report there. The 240-minute time frame chart, not much to report there from a bad standpoint. You had wave number 7, it looks like, on the 2-hour chart, but the price is back inside its profile. The same thing with the 60-minute chart. You know, it's the daily time frame that generated that bottom signal. It did that right here with the TD9 count. We'll pull this back. That formed at exactly 21:30, 9:30 last evening. And we'll take a look at the NQ, and it's been off to the races ever since. Price should go target 11,734. So you got that nice valid bottom, 30-minute chart. You got price above the top of its profile. No reason for it to not go tackle that 11,734 level. If price can get above that, it will be rally on inside the NQ. Is there anything else worth noting here? You know, not really. Not that I see. Let's go. Well, I know what there is. Maybe there is worth noting. Let's go take a look at what's going on from a TAS market profile standpoint. So let me pull that set of charts over here. What we're looking for is to try to understand are conditions bullish for the 4 different time frames or for any of the time frames. So that's the S&P. We can come back to the S&P. Let's go ahead and switch this over to the NASDAQ 100. And as these charts here populate, can't tell if that's it or not. What the heck is going on with my system today? It's a problem. I don't know what the problem is. So as we take a look at the NDX 100, what we'll see here is these speed dials. So what you're looking at is in the upper right-hand corner. And that shows you the weekly, daily, 240, and 60-minute time frame. Each of those are in bullish configurations. They're in the green zone out there. The weakest one is still the weekly chart, but that has just recently flipped positive. Might have been today or yesterday out here. And what we have right now is 24 instruments trading above the top of their profile, weekly profile that is, and 17 below the bottom. So those are bullish conditions for it. If we look at how bullish the daily time frame is from a TAS market breadth standpoint, it's extraordinary. 65 instruments trading above the top, 3 instruments trading below the bottom. So there is certainly market breadth strength out there to move the markets higher. On a 4-hour time frame, just as significant, 72 above, 8 below. Finally, on the hourly time frame, we take a look at instruments trading above profile at 61 and 23 below. So you're in bullish conditions for the NASDAQ 100 across the board. Now, I have not pulled up the 30-minute time frame chart. Let's do that too, just so that we're thorough out here. And on a 30-minute basis, that's the S&P. Let's get to the NASDAQ 100. What we're going to see out here is what? We're going to see that we currently have 56 instruments trading above the top. That's 3 below. This is the NASDAQ 100, folks. The S&P 500 is much more bullish than the NASDAQ 100 is. So this is telling you that the market should continue to rally. If we come back and again take a look at these intraday charts out here, it's saying that 30-minute says, hey, we're headed up to that TD9 count breakdown level, and that was now supported by the market breadth. So 11,734, here we come. Right now, trading out 11,681. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We get back from this break. Let's take a couple of questions that have come in. One from Johnny, who wants to take a look at TTD. And I believe we've got one from David in Tomball, Texas, Gilead. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Teddy Kegstad has just announced a live webinar coming up for subscribers to his newsletter, The Tiger Forex Report. Wednesday, October 26th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, Teddy will be hosting a live 60-minute webinar, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, what is behind the Tiger Forex Report newsletter. In this 60-minute webinar, Teddy will be discussing a full breakdown of the markets that influence currency pairs, as well as applying those variables to individual currency pairs, how to evaluate trading scenarios for risk versus reward, as well as a live question and answer session. Sign up now and gain instant access to this live webinar coming up, as well as a month subscription to Teddy's Tiger Forex Report, which comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Don't miss out on this live webinar event with Teddy Kegstad, Wednesday, October 26th. Sign up now for the Tiger Forex Report at the front page of TFNN.com.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back, folks. So we've got the charts for TTD. That's the trade desk up on our screen right now. This is for one of our Denners, for Johnny. And Johnny, we take a look at TTD on the daily time frame. We see a completed by the D point pattern. That was the A to B equals CD that was confirmed with this bull sash candle on the trading day of October the 17th. Price is trading with inside its bullish structured profile, so your support level is between 49.80 and 51.44. Price is above the oscillator and change line, so that suggests a move to 57.99, the top of its daily profile. Now, if price can close above that level, then you'll see a run, or should see a run, to 64.70. Now, that's a key level of resistance. It's already been tested. That happens to be the TD9 count breakdown resistance area out there. So that would be the next move above 57.99. The weekly chart supports a further rally. Price above the top of its profile, as well as its oscillator and change line. And with inside the monthly chart, you just have your good old-fashioned consolidation between the levels of 44.43 and 82.41. Price did gap down this morning out here. That's what I see. But as we take a look, what the heck? Whoa, that's really weird. There we go. Okay, Stevie doing weird things. But when we take a look at this, it's just a sideways move. Price never broke through support, a key level of support. That's a 60-minute time frame. That's at 52.33. But what we should do is, I think I'd change this to 60 for some reason. I always like to look at this on a 30-minute basis as well. So TD9 count top that formed out here at 12:30 yesterday afternoon, and that took price all the way back to its second breakout level at 54.04. Nonetheless, it has regained its strength out there, and price should target 57.99. So I hope that helps you out, Johnny, with regard to the trade desk. Much appreciated, and have a wonderful Wednesday. David in Tomball, Texas, he says, go Astros. So I don't think that game, the Astros and the Padres, right? That's who they're playing. That game doesn't start until Friday. But I don't know where the first game is. I'm assuming it's in Texas. But in any event, let's go to David's question out here, and that goes like this. I'd like to ask for your analysis on Gilead Sciences, GILD, that's a ticker symbol. That's a chart on the screen right now. They come out with earnings tomorrow. You currently own the stock and just about break even. Can you give me the trading ranges, oscillator and change on where you think the stock is headed to? Absolutely. So where's it headed to? Well, on a weekly basis out here, I'm just pulling this back, its level of resistance, because price is above the top of its weekly profile, the top of its daily profile, and it's actually trading above right now the top of its monthly profile. So I would say that the target to the upside, or the next target, or the next battle, is really what I should say, is at 72.57, a TD9 count breakdown resistance level on a weekly time frame. But let's do this here. I want to take a look at the A to B equals CD pattern. On a daily time frame, by the way, we do not have any kind of a topping signal, but I want to take a look at that. The A to B equals CD pattern that's underway. Now, I also will share with you there is a TD9 count top. And that real key level of resistance happens to be from back in August of 2021. And that high is 73.34. So should you hold on to this, David, and if you get price above that, that's going to signal a more of a rally to come, as a key significant top would have failed. Now let's switch back and take a look at the black background chart. It's just easier right now for me to draw that A to B equals CD pattern. So let's go take a look at that. Let's pull off the daily time frame here. Boy, it's got several out here, doesn't it? Several A to B equals CD patterns. Let's come back to the weekly, where it'll just simply cut out some of the noise there, or should cut out some of the noise. So on the weekly basis, the A to B equals CD pattern looks like this. So this is the one that Stevie will use. Now, we could use the swing point low from March 14th. 2022. I'm just simply going to use the swing point out here from June 13th as price came back and tested that area. The B point out here is going to be the a session from September the 12th. And then the C point is going to be the low from October the 3rd. Now, yesterday, price closed above that B point. The B point had 58 million shares. Today it is trading above it. Hello, Stevie, wake up, smell the roses. So today, price is taking out that B point. You are at 16 million shares with about 2 hours of trading. If we multiply 16 times 3, what do we get to? About 48 million shares or so. 48 million going against 58 million shares. So it may be a little bit light in the loafers, like many A to B equals CD patterns that are in place right now. Just because you don't pass a B point with volume does not mean that it will not or cannot complete the A to B equals CD to the upside or to the downside. So in this case here, even though it doesn't have the volume, you can see that along the C to D leg, it is much stronger than that A to B area that I drew in here. When I mean stronger, it's trading on the left side of that C to D leg out there. So what this is really telling you is that price should make way to 76.35. Now they come out with earnings. The chart patterns right now are so the only weakness that you have or could have would be the light volume today. If we didn't have earnings, wouldn't really be paying much attention to it. If you did get the volume, that would be a different picture, and maybe you'll get that. But I don't see any other topping signals. You asked where the oscillator on change line was on a daily time frame. That's at 67.95. The top of the daily profile is 67.08. Those would be support levels to watch on any kind of disappointment this evening. So I hope that helps you out with regard to Gilead. You also wanted to take a look at Devon Energy. DVN is the ticker symbol. So we're on the black. Are we on the black background screen? Here we are. So let me get that going here, and I'll get it on the other charts as well. So in the case of Devon Energy, let's clean up these charts here just a tad. Devon Energy trading above the top of its daily profile, the top of a prior swing point. That swing point took us back to August 29th. That did volume there of 11 million shares. You're above it right now with 3 million shares, so it's going to be about similar volume as price takes out that swing point. Actually, it closed above it yesterday with 6 million shares. So still a little bit light in the loafers out there. Doesn't mean price doesn't continue to move higher. When we take a look at Devon Energy, it's trading into a swing point, a weekly swing point that takes us back into June of 2022. That had 56 million shares. We're only we're not fully halfway into the weekly session out here. We're about 18 million. Maybe it does by the end of the day. It does what volume-wise? Maybe another 3 million shares, so 21 million halfway through. So it's moving into that swing point with light volume. Devon Energy, that is. So that could be a little bit of a roadblock out there. Could be a bit of a roadblock. Now, what you really want to watch is the monthly chart. I'm just going to leave the black background charts on our screen out here. The month of May 2022 was your TD9 count top. And if price can close above that high, by the way, is, well, where's my data box? Okay. I tell you what that high is as soon as I can find, where is the data box? What the heck? Here we go. Man, what the heck is going on here? That high, 79.19. So, David, if you get a close above 79.19, that would be very strong and tell you that Devon Energy wants to continue to move higher out there. So hope that helps you out, both with regard to Devon and Gilead. And also we got to Johnny's request out there. So, yeah, go Astros. And hopefully you have a wonderful Wednesday. Hey, we got a request here from Hector. Hector and Patty. Oh, it looks like we might have two from Hector. And Hector wants to click PCTY. So let me get those screens here started. Let's switch back to our white background screen. So we'll do that. Change our window out here. And then we'll actually read the question from Hector, which goes like this. Hector writes in and he says, happy, wonderful, wacky Wednesday. PCTY, is this a daily A to B equals CD down by the D point for a major bounce up finally coming? Well, let's go take a look. So I'm going to switch back to those black background charts because, again, that's the better tool that I've got for our A to B equals CD pattern. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back up, folks. So brain fart number 2, it's the Phillies, not the Padres in the World Series out there. No, interesting little tidbit here that was posted by one of our dinners. Let me see if I can find that. Where is that? Right here. This was posted by My Swamp. It says, over the past 100 years, a sure sign of an oncoming financial crisis has been a Philadelphia-based baseball team winning the World Series. You got 1929. You got the Athletics. So Oakland Athletics. But the 1980 was the Phillies. 2008 was the Phillies. and we don't know about 2022 just yet. Okay, interesting little tidbit out there. So we're taking a look at PCTY. That is Paylocity Holdings Corp. And what we're going to do is we're going to switch actually over to the black background screen. Should have done that during the breakout here. And I'm going to take a look, and we're going to share with you the A to B equals CD pattern that Hector and Patty are looking at, which is the A point starting out here on the trading day of August 5th, the B point, the low from September 1st. And then if that is the A to B equals CD, which I believe Hector and Patty are looking at, then the C point would have to be the high from October the 6th. Now, Patty and Hector, I want you to notice that the retracement on the C to D leg is 84%. Once you get above a 0.786, it's not that it can't, and not that this hasn't done an A to B equals CD, so to speak, but it really kind of disqualifies it out there. But nonetheless, let's just go ahead with the pattern. Let's assume that it completed it with nice 2 bullish hammer candles that occurred a couple of days ago on Friday and on Monday out there. Now, that really doesn't matter whether we've got an A to B equals CD or not. The actual A to B equals CD pattern that I would draw in here would require a close below that 212.49 level out there. So if that ever occurs out there, well, I can't say if that ever occurs, then we'd have a different A to B equals CD pattern out here. But right now, Hector, and that would be with the A point that I would be using out here, or could use, might be on a conservative one, the October 6th high. And then for the low that I would be using would be the October 13th low, and then for the C point right now would be the October 18th. But that low has held, so you don't have an A to B equals CD at that stage. What we do have, finally, get to it already, Steve-O, we've got price trading with inside a bullish structured profile. So would I load up my truck on this? No, I wouldn't. And that was mostly because of the weekly chart, which is trading below profile and trading below its oscillator and change line out there. So that's kind of a weak signal. But price may run or should run to 240.27 out there. And that's the top of the daily profile. So Hector and Patty, I hope that helps you out with regard to Paylocity Holdings. I see you've got a second question here, IW Monthly. Steve, is this a bullish reversal, possible C point candle out here? So now, and I'll tell you what we're going to do, Hector. We're going to come back to that question because we've got call-ahead seating here, and we've got Brent from Martinez, California on the line. Brent, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, Steve. How are you?
Very good. Thanks so much for asking. And HIMX is what you're calling about, Hincks Technologies. Tell the folks what you're doing, what you see, and how I can best help you.
I would just go over some of the things that I'm seeing, and I'd like to get your thoughts on it.
Absolutely.
I can see a definite, AB equals CD, that it's already, the 1-to-1's completed off that October low. I have it in bar 8 on today for the daily TD count. And then the one thing that I have observed that seems kind of important to me, if you go back to June was the last time that it had a couple days above the 50 SMA, and now it's had that, it hasn't been able to do that since that time, and now it's had, I guess, 3 days above that. So those are the things I'm looking at. It just seems to me, and we're getting close to the changeover in the OUL, so it would make sense to me that we're probably going to, at some point here in the next, few days, maybe have a little top and then test that line, and I just want to get your thoughts on it.
Sure. Okay, so the first thing, I was trying to pick up on things that you said, and then things that I can add to it. So let's assume that there's an A to B equals CD pattern inside of Hincks on a daily basis out here. That pattern will not complete, folks, until we get a bearish reversal candle. A bearish reversal candle is not a red candle. Bearish reversal candle, it's something that I teach to subscribers, or you might want to learn on your own out there, especially as patterns are completing, because that's where the bullish or bearish reversal candles really come into play. So Brent, at this stage here on a daily basis, I would say I don't see any kind of top just yet. I think the A to B equals CD that you might be using, I don't know if you went ahead and you used the actual low from September 29th or just the low from October 11th. You said an October low, so I'm going to go with that. And then I'm assuming that you're using for the C point October 18th high and then a one-day retracement down into October 19th. And that's a 36% retracement, so pretty close to a 0.386. So that's fine. 1-to-1 would get us up to the 619-ish level out there. But with a shallow retracement, if that's what you're using, then that would really suggest to me that this will do more than a 1. Either way, what you would wait for is some type of bearish reversal candle to suggest that the pattern has completed. The real battleground right now is going to be the top of its weekly profile, and that is at 1440. Now I'll switch over to my other charts. What this did form on September 26th was wave number 7. That is letter G, so a valid bottom. So if price can overcome 618, Brent, then that would be a nice bowler sign that suggests that price should continue to move higher. I'll move over to my white background charts momentarily. Any questions about these black background charts that I'm sharing with you?
Yeah, I might have been a little off on my charts. It's not super clear. I mean, it was right around the changeover from September to October, so it would have been that kind of obvious low you see on the chart for the daily.
Yeah. Okay. So either way, still no confirmation of a top on the A to B equals CD pattern. Price above the top of its daily profile. And what we'll see here as we switch over, Brent, to the white background charts, this is suggesting to you that its price target to the upside on a daily basis would be at $6.42. 642 is the next TD9 count breakdown level. You are correct. Today is going to be bar number 8 of a TD9 count, but not until price gets above yesterday's high, either today, tomorrow, or on Friday, will that trigger a TD9 count top. You can see on the weekly chart, you can see that wave number 7, letter G bottom out there. We see, again, the top of that profile. And nothing really on the monthly other than price pulling all the way back to the bottom of its profile, close to it. The bottom of that profile is at 474. The low was 483 out there. So what was the question?
That's I just wanted to know some of the different levels, to be watched, I guess both directions really, because I do think that at some point, we're probably going to have that test on the daily, because it's getting close to doing the, changeover here, turn to green, I would think any day now. So.
Yeah. Well, so what you got to do, as you know, but I'm just going to share with the other folks out there is you can see, folks, here, bar number 7 is the high so far of this pattern. Bar numbers 8 and 9 have to complete in order for the pattern to form. But in addition to that, the high must come on bars 8, 9, or the bar following bar number 9. So this is saying that if that's going to be the pattern that identifies the top, we're going to see at least a spike above yesterday's high, which was 611. But looks like a good trade to me. I understand, definitely anticipating a short-term top, especially with the TD9 count getting towards completing that pattern and a weekly profile just above at the 618 level. So, Brent, is there anything else that I can provide to you?
I think that's it. I had a fantastic day yesterday of fishing it's a lake kind of going up by, I don't know if you know where Sugar Bowl ski resort is. It's kind of going up by Donner Pass. Yes. And it's a private lake that I have access to.
Well, what'd you catch? What'd you catch?
I'm sorry?
What'd you catch?
Trout.
Oh, perfect. So was it fly fishing?
This is a really good time of year, the fall, because, before the lakes freeze over, the fish are pretty active foraging to prepare for that, I suppose.
You're making me hungry. I think it should be trout almondine for lunch today. Hey, Brent, we're about to go to a break out there. Thanks so much for calling. Have a wonderful Wednesday, and we'll look forward to speaking to you again soon. That was Brent in Martinez, California. You bet. We'll be right back, folks.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back up, folks. You got the Dow up 329, S&P's up 26, and NASDAQ is up off 16 points right now. Let's go to Hector's question. Hector had written in a question number 2, and he says the IWM monthly chart. So that's what we've got up on our screen. We've got our black background charts up here. And the question is this month, the month of October, possibly the C point of an A to B equals CD to the upside? And what he's looking at a large A to B equals CD, that if this were the C point, and we're going to try to answer that question here, that the A to B equals CD pattern would look something like this. Now, something like this would take price on a 1-to-1 price projection up to 311.27. Now, there's no way that I know at this stage here whether this is the C point of an A to B equals CD pattern. But what is it that possibly, Hector, because I would also argue that this could be an A to B equals CD to the downside. And that pattern would look like this, Hector. The A point would be the high from 2021. The B point would be the low from June of 2022. And then a 2-month retracement up into the high of August of 2022 out there. Now, price is not taking out 162.86. If we did get a close below that, that would then add to the idea that it's an A to B equals CD to the downside. But back to Hector's question, okay, because we can't rule out that it's a possibility. So what's one thing that a monthly time frame chart, because he was specifically asking about the monthly, what's one thing that the monthly chart would do to suggest that, yes, this is a bottom? Anybody know? Anybody? And probably there's multiple answers. Let me give you the one thing that I would be looking at here, Hector. We're going to start with the high out here that formed in November of 2021. That high the following month was not closed above. The month of December, that month was not closed above. The month of January 1st never closed above that high. In the you saw a little bit of a rally in February, but it never got up to the prior high. Never took that out. You never took out the prior high in March. You never took out the prior high. I mean, close above. When I say take it out, I'm talking about closing above it. So price has not closed above a prior monthly high since since the top. It's been before that, but at least since November. So I would think, Hector and Patty, that if this were a C point of an A to B equals C to the upside, that by Monday you would see a close above the high from last month, September. And that high is 189.86. If we don't get that, yes, this right now as we speak is a bull sash candle on a monthly basis. But that only really matters at the completion of a pattern. We don't have a completion of a pattern as we speak on a monthly time frame. So I'll just simply resort back to kind of the simplest approach from a technical standpoint. Did price take out the prior bar's high or prior bar's low? And that will at least reveal a little bit more information that will assist you with that. So until we see the Russell 2000, the Dow on a monthly basis, the S&P, the NASDAQ 100, close above the prior month's high out there, we should all be very cautious. We should all be very cautious. So, Hector, that's a great question. I hope that helped to answer it, at least something else for you to consider. And now you can apply that same tool and technique, if you will, to different time frames out there. If we take a look at the daily chart, as long as we're here on the IWM, the B point out here was a trading day of October 18th, about 34 million shares. And yesterday you had price close above that with 33 million shares. So really close. It doesn't matter whether it's a confirmed A to B equals C to the upside. Price right now is trading above the top of its daily profile. The 1-to-1 price objective is 182.98. Got a 62% retracement, so it may start to run out of steam as we get into that level. Now, not shown on this chart out here is the 184.69 level. 184.69 is the high from what is that? Where is that bar? Oh, it's this bar right here. This is your TD9 count. This is the trading day of September 15th. That is the TD9 count breakdown resistance level. And that is likely where price will head to. And again, that level is 184.69. It is the high from September 15th. So, Patty and Hector, I hope that helps you out. Thanks so much for the request and the question out there. And have a wonderful, wacky Wednesday out there. Just checking to see if we've got any other questions. I see you got one from James Bond. Nope, no other question. That wasn't actually a question out there. So let me just check and see if there's anything inside the Tiger's den. I don't think there is. And so we've gotten to everything, and we still have time left. So that's a beautiful thing. So let's take a look at, let me just see what's moving in the markets out here. See what might be worth looking into. ABUS. Thank you, Dan. So let's go take a look at ABUS. Appreciate that. My wing men and wing women out there. Oh, I see there might be another one here. Johnny's, oh, thanks. Thank you. On today, what time? Today, what time? Today, what time? I'm confused. But let's take a look at ABUS. What screens do I have up? Let's change over to the white background screens here. Now we can try to assist Dan with at least what these charts are communicating to you and I. And ABUS is a big bus, right? It's a bus. I can see that. It's Arbutus Biopharma Corp. It is trading nicely today. It is above the top of that daily profile and into a prior swing point. That could be the B point of an A to B equals CD to the upside. That's the trading day, Dan, of October 18th. You knew that. And you also know it's got 1.4 million shares. And today you're at 278,000. So it's taking on that swing point with light volume. There's no doubt about that. Still could take it out. And if it does close above that high, well, you'd at least have an A to B equals CD pattern to the upside. That's 229 that you'd be looking at. You're trading right now at 228. As you can see, on a if price does close above that level, and you had wave number 7 bottom, I show that on my screen out there. If price does close above that level, then your next area of resistance gets to the weekly time frame chart, Dan, and that's at the 238 level. That's the top of its profile. Now, if price can take that out, then the next level of resistance, we go to the monthly time frame chart, and it would be its oscillator and change line, 239. So what we're looking at here is we're looking at trying to close above a prior swing point. If it can do that, that's a swing point from October 18th. That high out there is 229. 238 becomes a top of the weekly profile. 239 is the monthly oscillator and change line. So it's going to be clearing that 239 level. That's then going to suggest a run to 285, the weekly TD9 count breakdown resistance area. On a 30-minute basis out here, Dan, a bus does not have a topping signal. It is forming bar number 7 as we speak. So this says that by about 1:30, you could get a TD9 count top to then suggest at least a short-term retracement. Dan, is there anything else that you needed on ABUS out there? I'll go with the answer is no, but if there is, I know you'll write back to me. Oh, Dennis wanted to take a look at Harmony Gold, HMY. Dennis, my apology. I wrote that down, and I forgot to get to it for you. So let's make sure we do that for Dennis. And I don't know the question. I just happened to write that down. It might be just take a review or get a review of Harmony Gold, which is trading right now at 287. It shows, there we go. It's within side. So it has a nice TD9 count top. Harmony Gold, that is. That formed out here on the trade day of October 6th. That took price back to support. Where was support? The oscillator and change line. Price is back inside its profile. It's trading into that swing point that formed that TD9 count top hat volume there of 9 million shares. So far today, in the first couple hours of trading, you're at 1.2 million shares. So it's coming to that swing point with light volume. Price should still make its way to 295. That's the top of the daily profile out there. You're above the top of the weekly profile. So that's a beautiful thing. And price held support, the bottom of its monthly profile out. So 295 should be next up, Dennis, with regard to Harmony Gold. And if price can close above that, then you're looking at a run to $3.35. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
All right, folks, 3 requests in 2 minutes' time. SEDG is the first one we're taking a look at. SEDG right now, its next battleground, and it should reach it, is the weekly oscillator and change line at 248.54. You can see prices above the top of its daily profile. It had wave number 7 bottom out there in the daily time frame. 251.87 is another price target out there. Your real issue, S&P, is this monthly profile. But even with that being the case out there, it does look like this wants to make that run up towards a 251.87 level. You also want to take a look at ticker symbol LNG. I know LNG on a weekly basis is just completing a consolidation measured move breakout pattern out there. But you've also got on the weekly basis a TD9 count top. And that's what it really needs to take out. That high is 178.62. If LNG can take that out, then you're off to the races to the upside. The daily time frame, what do we have out here for this? You've got a Rhodes momentum indicator top. That formed on the trading day of September the 16th. That really says that well, I'd still default back to the weekly TD9 count area out here. Price is above the top of its daily profile, but below its green Austin and change line. So it just tells us S&P that it's lost its momentum to the upside out there. So I hope that helps you out, both with LNG and SEDG. The last request is to take a look at Hi-Ho Silver, and that's for G-Man in the Tiger's Den. And G-Man, as we take a look at the daily time frame chart out here, as long as silver can remain above, close above 1926, that's the top of its bearish structure daily profile. That suggests that it wants to make a move to 2087 out there. A confirmation of that would be 2 consecutive closes above 1963. 1963 is a 5-hour TD9 count breakdown level out there. So you'd like to see that. What else do I see? I see a 60-minute TD9 count top. Took price back to support, which is held. And even if the profile level of support failed, you've still got support at $19.20. 30-minute TD9 count bottom, but just really consolidating with inside that 30-minute profile out there. So that's really the skinny. That's the rundown on silver out there. So, folks, it's the end of another wonderful Wednesday, which is what I want you to have. But I also want you to stay tuned because we got great programming lined up, and I'll be back with you tomorrow on Terrific Thursday. Be safe out there. Have a wonderful Wednesday. We'll see you again soon.